All right, good morning. I am
Danganronpa.
really bad. Just my headphones. Okay, good morning. Good morning. Let's start immediately. Last time we left off, we just knocked out a bit of free time, and I think there's a bit more too. So who do I want to hang out with today? I'm really just sticking with Aoi. I really don't like Togo. She's delusional and she's... I like Kyoko a lot. I think Kyoko's great. Hold on, where is Aoi? I assume that Aoi's in the gym, or not gym, in the pool, but she's not. The kitchen, maybe? Laundry, okay, okay. Maybe I should do that. You know, oh wait, yeah, we have been there. We know it's in there, the sauna as well. Good place. Alright, they're just doing laundry here. That's fine.
Okay.
Each and every person has to do their job. The cooperation of each player is true teamwork.
You got it.
That's a quote from the famous rugby player Yuji Matsuo. We have to do the same thing, cooperate so we can survive. Should I hang out with Hina for a while? I forgot he calls her Hina. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Hina and I went for a light run through the school. Hina and I grew a little closer today. Would you like to give Hina a present? Yeah. What'd you like to give her? Sorry, but we can't let you give her that. It's what we in the industry like to call a key item. What? They're key items? Hold on. Okay. Why is it in this menu then? Maybe I'll give her, like, a duplicate that I have. What's something that I have a lot of? Bunny earmuffs, yeah. I have 4 of these.
You got it.
The queen accepts this royal tribute. Just kidding. Thanks, Makoto. Okay, you liked it. Hey, Makoto. I'm so tired. Yeah, you look pretty tired. What happened?
Well,
I woke up earlier than normal this morning, so I decided to do a push-up, sit-up, squat set. I ended up doing 1,000 each? Well, that would explain it. You're so tired. I want something sweet. I want those things that you get when you mix flour, sugar, butter, and eggs and then deep fry them. Donuts? Churros would work too. You want some donuts, don't you? There's actually a bunch of frozen donuts in the warehouse.
Okay.
Throw those in the microwave for a few seconds and just imagine. Imagine that the warm chewiness of that donut. You know what I'm saying, right? You'd eat the crap out of that, right? You really do love donuts, huh?
Just a second.
Is there anyone who doesn't? Who on Earth? No, who in the whole universe can say they hate donuts? Think about the sensation of biting into a donut. Hold on. I just realized, is my camera good? Yeah, it is, okay. I just need to... Oh, I just realized something. I, for some reason, changed my OBS setting. But we should be fine. First, the sweetness floods your mouth, then the soft dough cushions you. Next, you get that hint of egg and butter, right? Your whole body starts to melt. You feel like you're falling into the center of the donut itself. When people talk about the donut effective, that's what they're talking about. That's absolutely not true. I can't take it anymore. I'm drooling like Niagara Falls over here.
Just a second.
Get out of my way, Makoto, or I got an uppercut with your name on it. I'm not in the way. Away from me, God of Donuts. Almost before she was done talking, Hina took off like a bat out of hell. Whenever I'm around her, I feel like I'm soaking in the essence of human vitality. Alright, skill points increased. Nice. After I watched her run off, I went back to my room.
Ahem. The school nighttime is quickly approaching, but before it arrives, all students, please gather in the gym immediately. Emergency!
Emergency? You guys are in the gym. Why now all of a sudden? I really don't like the sound of this. I have a terrible feeling. Alright, to the gym we go. Hopefully nothing bad happened. You know what's going on? How come you haven't gone in yet?
Why is that?
Don't scare me like that. Sorry, but we should really go inside. You can't go. That's what my ghost friend is telling me. I don't feel good about it either, but we can't just ignore this. That's true too. Guess we have no choice. I have to go too. Asking us to gather together all of a sudden, like, what could he possibly want?
Well,
Indeed, what might await us this time? He keeps things interesting, that's for sure. How's that funny? Can't you smile like a normal person once in a while? Like how the housewife on a classic TV show smiles at the end of an episode?
what the heck?
There's something totally messed up with you if you can laugh at a time like this. Which of us is actually messed up,
Huh?
What's that supposed to mean? Nothing in particular, just admiring, that's all. I don't want to kill anyone, but I also don't want to stay here, living in blind denial day after day. I was just admiring how you could live like that and still keep your sanity.
What is this?
I'm not in denial. That reminds me. Remember how you kept talking about how the police or whoever would come help us? How'd that turn out? It seems to me there's no sign whatsoever of possible rescue.
Well...
That's just...
Huh?
I wonder what actually happened.
Certainly.
It's strange, that's true. There's no way the police wouldn't know about it. We're right in the middle of a major urban area. The police suck. On the contrary, the mastermind may be just that powerful. To take control even of the police.
Could it be?
This might not be related, but... And don't say it. Nope, gonna say it.
It's not like some
About last night, I was near the main hall, just staring off into space. When all of a sudden, I heard it.
Huh?
You heard what? A sound that I don't really know what it was. What kind of sound? Well, like I said, I don't really know. But if I had to describe it,
Could it be?
it was like a construction site, I guess? A construction site.
Serious?
I mean, I could just be making that up. I only just barely heard anything. Then you definitely made it up. Must have been the sound of the ocean in that head of yours. Say what? What are you talking about, Toko? Oh, it's this dude. Of course it is. He called us here. He's arrived. What Hito heard wasn't the sound of construction, but it could have been an explosion. Or maybe a machine gun. That can kind of sound like construction in a way. What are you talking about? Beyond this point, My mouth is zipped. My lips are sealed. I'm fully puckered. It's a secret little secret.
And?
Let's move on to what you can tell us. Why did you call us all here?
Say what?
You don't beat around the old bush, do ya? Ready for me to get to the point, huh?
If you
Before that, you mind if I vent a little? I'm low on energy these days. My stitching is even losing all its shine and luster. I'm thinking it's probably some of this whole boring old everyday life. I'm looking for something with a little more stimulation. Something rife with danger and intrigue.
Yep.
Can I just be frank?
Today,
Unless
I'm feeling
the next Blacken
blessed.
hasn't shown up yet. I'm getting bored.
Hey,
So I've decided to come up with a new way to motivate you. Motivate? Another set of videos or something? Are you gonna show us some demented thing to try and drive us all to murder? Drive you to murder? What a mean thing to say. Just awful.
You hear me?
I don't know what you've got planned, but we're not going to kill each other anymore.
Got it.
No matter what you do, I swear to God, we won't. That's very big talk. Do your very best to back it up, okay? Now then, with your permission, let me begin. So this time, it's embarrassing memories and secrets. As long as you're alive, it's a given that there's things you don't want other people to know about you. I did a little investigating of my own, and I dug up some of your darkest secrets. Oh gosh.
Those embarrassing memories and secrets are all contained in the envelopes I have right here. I'm going to hand them out now, so take a second to take a peek.
As Monokuma spoke, he tossed the envelopes at our feet. I quickly snatched the envelope with my name written on it. I nervously pulled out what was written inside. My entire body suddenly went rigid. Makoto wet the bed until he was in 5th grade. So? Like, who cares? This is barely worth killing over. Really, why would you be scared about this? You were a child. What? How'd you find out about this? Everyone started talking at once. You have 24 hours. If someone doesn't become blackened by then, all your deepest, darkest, most embarrassing secrets will be exposed to the world. Maybe I'll roll by a crowded intersection in a van strapped with loudspeakers and spill the beans. Wouldn't that be so embarrassing? That's what you meant by motivate? You got it. They're all pretty unpleasant, trust me. None of you want me to reveal that stuff, right? It's definitely something I'd rather people not know, but we'd never kill over something like that. What'd you say? He's right. Your plan is doomed to fail. No one's gonna murder someone for this kind of thing.
This is
Oh no. Is it because, for better or for worse, your memory's still a way to connect to the outside world? I have stuff I wouldn't want anyone to know, no matter what, so I assumed you'd all be the same. This is why I put so much effort into preparing this next motive. Man, you're saying you really won't kill each other over this stuff? That just sucks. Well, what can you do? Okay then. In 24 hours, I'll expose all your secrets just to make myself a little better.
okay.
So sad, so depressed, fare not well. With an almost convincing look of depressed dejection on his face, Monokuma receded into the gym steps.
So,
I didn't know what to expect at first, but maybe we dodged a bullet on this one. I mean, yeah, having those secrets revealed is gonna be totally embarrassing. Well, that's seriously not enough to give someone a reason to kill, right?
Listen to me.
Good news, everyone, I have a brilliant idea.
You hear me?
Why don't we all just confess the secrets in those envelopes right here and now?
Without a
If we
doubt.
do that, any and all motive for murder will vanish. That's pretty smart, right?
Quiet down and listen.
My embarrassing thing is, I don't want to hear your stupid story. What? Besides, I don't want to talk about it. I don't care what anyone says. I don't want to talk about mine.
as for me,
Neither do I. It's not because it's unpleasant, but because it is impossible.
Oh?
Well, it's just human nature to want to hear it when you say it's impossible. Come on, it'll be good for you. Absolutely not.
Come on.
It's okay, just a little bit.
on.
honest.
As I said,
Here we go.
oh gosh, he's getting annoying, getting pushy. I said I don't want to talk about it, you human bag of lard.
Say what?
I agree with them. There's no need to discuss it. What do you think, Chihiro?
I'm
Sorry, I don't
sorry,
really want to talk about it right now. Okay.
But
But I also don't want to leave things the way they are, so maybe I can talk about it later. After I try my best to become strong, then I can tell everyone.
So,
If you don't want to talk, you don't have to. I'm not super excited to talk about it either.
That's true.
If everyone's that much against it, even if my bro's the one that suggested it, I gotta say no. Well, that's okay then. Either way, if it's just a few secrets, I'm sure nobody's about to kill anybody over it. I hope you're right. A secret's so bad you'd kill someone to keep it. Nobody's got something like that, right? Okay, I'll stop with all the secret talk, but
You hear me?
each of us has 24 hours to get ready. Having our secrets exposed isn't gonna be fun, but it's not like we're gonna die because of it. So you know, don't do anything hasty. The way you keep repeating it kind of makes me worry even more. Oh, okay, sorry. I know it's gonna be tough, but... Is it 10 p.m.?
This is a school announcement. It is now 10 p.m. As such, it is officially nighttime. Soon the doors to the dining hall will be locked, and entry at that point is strictly prohibited. Okay then. Sweet dreams, everyone. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bug bite.
Nighttime already, huh? Okay, let's all call it a day.
Of course.
Good idea. We need to prepare for tomorrow. I was left with an anxiety I just couldn't shake, but... We left things as they were, and left things as they lay. One by one, we headed back to our rooms. Secrets or memories you don't want anyone to know about. A way to connect to the outside world. Honestly, all that crap Monokuma was spouting didn't have any effect on me. There's no way anyone would kill over stuff like that. At least, that's what I thought. But maybe I was just being optimistic. Which is probably why, without too much of a struggle. I'm more tired than usual. Super tired today. I fell asleep. But what I didn't know was that, even then, a tragedy was taking place. You have a second? I want to confide in you. About the prevailing world attitude right now. The difference between passive and active. I mean, for example, it's the difference between like, oops, I killed him, and yeah, that's right, I killed him. Amazingly, there are tons of people who don't understand the difference. Can you believe it? There's a huge difference between oops and that's right. You know what I'm saying, right? Anyone can kill someone in the heat of the moment, but surprisingly few can do it with calculated intent. To make that choice, then put it into action, it's way harder than just letting your emotions lead you. It's all about preparation, resolve. So maybe you're wondering, what's the point I'm trying to make?
Well,
I'm not totally...
sure
Okay, here's it.
myself. Maybe you should try reading between the lines.
He really wants us to kill. Morning. Good morning.
Good
What?
morning!
Nice reaction. I'm glad you didn't disappoint. What are you doing here?
Yep.
I wanted to spice things up. But instead of a school announcement, I decided to wake you up in person. The hell for? Because it's fun.
Hmm.
And as long as I'm here, I figured I'd let you hear it right from the bear's mouth. Hear what? Are you sure you should be acting this laid back? I mean, even though something happened to one of your buddy-buddy classmates? What?
Say what?
Your face is all blue, like someone on the verge of death. What happened? What are you talking about? It's for me to know and you to find out. Good luck. Something's happened to someone. Is it? Was it? No, it can't be. There's no way someone would... But what if... No, what ifs are pointless, especially now when... The dining hall. I need to get to the dining hall.
Ah,
Makoto, are you okay?
Hey.
Did Monokuma talk to you too? Hiro, Hino, Sakura, and... Yakuya. You're the only ones here? Where's everyone else? Either they're already trying to verify what Monokuma said, or they've fallen victim to the something that Monokuma mentioned. The something?
Perhaps.
It can't be. Has it happened again? Murder? After hearing what Monokuma had to say, the worst possibility forced its way into my mind. It took everything I had to drive that thought away. So if something really did happen, does that mean someone did it because of what happened yesterday?
Huh?
It can't be. That stuff was just a bunch of old memories. Just old memories. Don't be so sure about that. Clearly someone felt it was more important than that. Huh? To judge someone else's values based on your own outlook. You realize how dangerous that is?
What the heck?
Why didn't you say something yesterday?
Naturally.
Did you already forget? This isn't a co-op game. It's every man for himself. What good does it do me to go out of my way to help you?
Just the worst.
Stop saying that already. There's something wrong with him, for serious. Did he get brainwashed or something?
Wait.
That's not important. What matters right now is that we find out what happened.
That's fine.
He's right. Let's all split up and begin looking. The game is afoot. Alright, we'll look around. There's still one knife missing. Hasn't been replaced. I have a feeling it's going to be in one of the new areas. I'm gonna start with the bathhouse even though I doubt it's gonna be here. Anyone in here? Nah. No one in here, okay. There's like layers to this. A lot of layers to that bathhouse.
So,
Knocked on all the doors, but nobody answered. Did they all go to see what happened? Oh, then what about the second floor of the school? It's the one place that's new to all of us. So it seems like the natural place for... Yeah, let's check the trash for real quick. Someone's here, yep. There doesn't appear to be anything here. What are you doing, Sakura? Did you find something? Oh, no. It's just that what you said the other day must have been lurking in the back of my mind. Huh?
Perhaps.
If something has happened, the killer might try to use this to destroy evidence again. I suppose that was floating around my subconscious and it led me here. Alright. I mean, that's a valid reason. Let me see if I can buy some stuff in the school store. I'm running low. On supplies. I don't know. Okay, he's over there. I don't really want to talk to him. Yeah, let's try to get some things. Oh, I have no coins. Okay, never mind. Let's see. Next floor, then. Library. Anyone at the gym? No. I'm realizing the pool isn't an option for me to teleport to, so that's probably where the action is. But let me talk to Byakuya real quick in the library. What do you have to say? There's nothing here of interest, don't you agree? Go look somewhere else. There's this room here, the archive. I've not been to the archive. Oh shoot, I should be getting these. How do I get to the archive? Oh yeah, I need to look at him. There's a desk here. Doesn't give me anything. Okay, let's just leave. There's nothing worthwhile over there. I've already checked, so there can be no mistake. Okay, if you say so. That's the archive door. Alright, let's head over to the gym. I'm assuming that's where things happened. Huh? The door's open. Aren't these supposed to be locked?
For this investigation, I have unlocked the door.
Ah.
Please look around to your heart's content.
Okay. Investigation.
All clear now.
Just as I thought. Yakuya.
I see.
Judging from what he said, there can be no doubt a murder really has taken place. In the locker rooms, they're suspicious. Very suspicious indeed, wouldn't you agree? Suspicious. No one searched in the locker rooms. Let's start with the girls' locker room. Okay. The door swung open without a sound. In that moment, time seemed to freeze. Oh no. Oh, I feel bad for her because she was so like... She was so weak in comparison to everyone. I don't know how long it took for me to fully comprehend the reality of what I was looking at. As soon as I did. A wild, almost primeval scream escaped from my mouth. Deadly Life, Boy's Life of Despair, Chapter 2. I tried to suppress my screaming, but it was useless. It surged out of me like water from a spring gushing out of the ground. Yakuya, on the other hand.
Very strange.
Most unusual, don't you think? He was totally calm, almost like he was watching this all unfold in front of a TV screen.
I see.
Look, Hihiro's corpse has been suspended somehow. And something's been written on the wall in blood. Bloodlust. Such a brutal way to kill someone. No, this is beyond brutal. Wouldn't you agree? They killed her. How could it not be brutal? That's not my point. This murder is far too bizarre for any everyday amateur to have committed it. Unlike with Sayaka, this murder was not a crime of passion or necessity. It's almost as if whoever did this did it for fun. You see what I mean, don't you? What? My head was swimming. I was still reeling, too confused to understand what he was trying to say. Before I could even begin to clear my head,
What the heck?
I heard screaming. Did something... Chihiro!
A body has been discovered. After a certain amount of time, which you may use however you like, the class trial
Okay.
will begin.
We need to figure things out now. What the hell was that?
What?
That's right, you were unconscious during Sayaka's, so you don't know about it. What you just heard was the body discovery announcement. Apparently, when 3 or more people discover a body, an announcement plays to let everyone know. I imagine it's so that the search for the culprit can proceed fairly for everyone involved. Proceed fairly? The body discovery announcement? Then Chihiro really is
Naturally.
dead, yes. Before you start screaming your head off, go round everyone up. It seems another game has begun. Another life or death game to uncover a killer. Taka bolted out of the locker room. As everyone made their way to the scene, it felt as if no time at all has passed. It was like my sense of time had just taken wing and flown away. When I finally came back to myself, I saw everyone had the same look of confusion, fear, and anger. We all just stood there, gathered around Chihiro's body.
Damn.
I couldn't keep her safe. So there's another victim. Which means we are now in the same position once again.
What the?
What is this? It's a dream. It's a dream. This is all a dream. I haven't even been born yet. I don't have any memory of ever being alive. So there's writing on the wall. Bloodlust. The word bloodlust is written on the wall in blood. I don't think it's any kind of dying message. It's just too strange. A thing about writing bloodlust in blood, doesn't it seem kind of familiar? A murderous fiend who kills again and again using a bizarre and brutal method. And at the scene of each crime, the word bloodlust is written in the victim's own blood. They're like a ghost, attacking suddenly then slipping away before the police can catch up to them. And what nickname did the internet give to this mysterious serial killer? Genocide Jack. Genocide Jack, the murderous fiend whose grisly attacks were famous all across the country. The ultimate murderous fiend, creating a reputation of abnormal, downright cruel killings.
What is this?
Is this some copycat killer trying to imitate Genocide Jack's style? Why would anyone do that? Perhaps the work of the real Genocide Jack. Are you saying Genocide Jack is here in the school?
No way.
There's no way. Going so far as to write bloodlust at the scene, I'm surprised at their stupidity.
Well,
I can't imagine a worse situation than dealing with a stupid murderer. What is it now? Coco. Ina was pointing toward the entrance to the girls' locker room. Coco was the last to arrive. Now she was just standing there. Why? She fainted. That did not sound good. Coco. Are you okay? Come on, wake up.
oh,
That's right, I just remember what she said. About how she faints anytime she sees blood.
Oh,
So she is hemophobic? I imagine she does not watch too many horror films then. This isn't a violation of the rules, right? I mean, technically she passed out somewhere besides her room. I think it should be okay. The regulations prohibit sleeping, like on purpose. So nice. So since she didn't faint on purpose, it doesn't count? Gotcha.
just a second.
Can you hear me? You gotta wake up. As if she'd heard her. Coco suddenly shot awake. As in she'd literally jumped from where she was laying. It's such a strange reaction, I was at a total loss for words. She leapt straight into the air, changing her stance as she did. In no time flat, she was just standing up, ignoring the physical contortions she had to go through. Her motions were totally haphazard. What? Sorry about that. I was just so shocked, you know? It happens, right? Was I the only one? Coco, are you okay? Is that a dead body? Hey, are you dead? Oh no.
What the heck?
She must have hit her head real hard when she fainted. The world has a front and back, a top inning and a bottom, a sea of truth and a web of lies.
Well,
It's quite concerning. I mean, she sounds completely different. At least everything's fine. At least the stutter's gone. It's a good thing, right?
I see.
Your eyes seem strangely vacant. It might be best if we take her back to the room for the time being.
so,
I don't mind taking her, but could someone help me? If you need help, I don't mind. Taka, could you help me? He totally ignored me. Very well. You take care of the girl. The rest of us can begin the investigation right away. Where's Kyoko? The mastermind isn't behind that. After what happened last time, surely you realized that.
Don't make
There's no question that Chihiro was murdered by someone among us. Isn't that right, Monokuma?
Of course.
Right as rain. Don't take it as a bad thing. It's just a fact of life. Because that's how graduation works. It's happened again. What you're saying? That another one of us killed a fellow classmate. Does that freak you out? You guys got no balls, you know that? Is there just nothing down there at all? Well, I'll let you pray to mine if you want. But actually, I don't have any either, sorry. Stop monologuing and give us what you came here to give us. You did bring it, right? I sure did.
It's the Monokuma file.
I know how much you must be looking forward to it.
See ya later.
You're very tippy-top best on this investigation.
No way!
Where's Kyoko? Examining the corpse of one of our friends, having to suspect all our other friends.
Why?
I hate this. I can't take it anymore. I hate it too. I've had enough. I'm getting out of here.
Hey!
Where do you plan on going? There's nowhere to run.
Such ignorance.
Just accept it already. After all, blood is just a liquid. A dead body is a simple object. You're very enthusiastic about all this, are you not?
Naturally.
How can I not be? If we don't unmask the culprit, we all die. That's true, but to jump into it so soon. What, do you want to die?
Such
Fine.
ignorance.
Then go off and die somewhere. Right now, go ahead. You're a waste of space.
Damn
That
you!
body is an object.
Piece of shit!
Chihiro wasn't an object. Show a little respect or I'll beat some into you.
Calm down.
Okay, there's Kyoko. Finally, she shows up. There's some truth in what Byakuya said. Kyoko,
Because...
if we don't solve the mystery and find the killer, our own lives are forfeit. And if Byakuya is right, that Genocide Jack is somehow the one who killed Chihiro,
That's right.
then unless we do something, more victims could start piling up. Forget more victims. If we mess this up, we're all dead meat.
Hey, hey.
Hold on. If that's your worry, you don't have to worry any longer. In any one killing game, the guilty party may only kill a maximum of 2 people. I don't remember any rule like that.
Actually,
I just came up with it. If one person went around and killed everyone, your lovely student life would be all over, right? The new rule has been added to the regulations menu.
so then.
In that case, why not limit it to one person?
Hey.
Well, in a good mystery, you don't want to miss out on at least the potential of a serial killer angle. Just one would totally murder that possibility.
Punishment is waiting for you.
Farewell for now. I'll catch you guys at the class trial. Can't say I understand his thinking, but if we can kill up to the 2 people, then one more person's life could still be in danger. Which is definitely not good. We need to uncover the culprit before something happens.
You son of a bitch!
You need to shut up!
So...
Well, for now, Taka and me are gonna drop off Toko at her room. Guess I'm gonna get dropped.
There is nothing to be done.
We have no time to stand around here. We must begin our investigation, tout sweet. We do not solve the mystery of who killed Chihiro,
Is that okay?
then we will quickly follow her into the afterlife. That's true. I hate this, but if I want to survive, me and everyone else, we have to do it. We don't have any other choice. First of all, I'd better check the Monokuma file to see exactly what's going on. I really like the investigate theme. The victim was Chihiro Fujisaki. Time of death is estimated to be around 2 a.m. The body was discovered in the girls' locker room, on the 2nd floor of the school. The cause of death was a blow to the head with a blunt object. He was killed instantly. That's all it says. It's not like there's any point in complaining about it. No matter what, I gotta do what I gotta do. You have a second? Did you need something from me?
Naturally.
Of course, life without purpose is quite dull, you know? What did you need? I'm going to let you cooperate with me during my investigation. Huh?
What?
I'm purchasing your talent, the same talent which allowed you to solve Sayaka's case. Solved? No,
Stop
you
talking.
seem to have some limited use, which is why I've chosen you. You have the honor of contributing to my investigation. You're inviting me to come with you? You're doing it in the most arrogant way possible, though.
Let's go.
Now then, shall we get started? We need to get moving. There's no time to be standing around. I don't really know what just happened. Looks like I'll be working with Byakuya on this one. start just looking at things. There's a fresh blood stain on the carpet. It must have been splattered with blood during the murder. This might be the murder weapon. There's a dumbbell on the floor, and this is a blood stain. There's a blood stain on the dumbbell. The Monokuma file said a blow to the head with a blunt object is what killed her. Does that mean this dumbbell was actually the murder weapon?
That's right.
I don't imagine it could have been anything else. Alright. Dumbbell. How heavy was this thing? Can we see the weight? It'd be relevant to see the amount of weight this thing is and if anyone is capable of lifting it. There's blood on that too. The poster's got some blood on it. Here's the body itself.
Very strange.
The more I look, the more strange it all seems. This must be Genocide Jack's handiwork. Well, but
What?
we're still not sure he did it. Is that what you want to say? I wonder about that. He took her time examining Chihiro's corpse. She poked and prodded, going over every inch of the lifeless body. You're a very strange woman, you know, being able to touch a dead body with absolutely no trouble. She seems to be concentrating pretty hard. It's like she can't even hear us. I feel like she's gonna bring up some evidence that we don't know again. I use this locker room all the time. Now it's become the site of Chihiro's death. But why was she killed in the locker room? Actually, if you think about it, she could have been killed somewhere else than carried here. She was very light, that's true. It wouldn't be hard for someone to carry her, but still. I still think she came here on her own by choice. What makes you say that? She'd been talking a lot lately about how she wanted to get stronger. You're saying she came here to exercise? According to the Monokuma file, apparently she was killed around 2 in the morning. Would she really have been exercising that late?
Perhaps.
Hina or myself are usually in the locker room during the day. So she was probably avoiding it then. Avoiding it. Although we invited her to join us more than once, she never showed up. Well, I can only assume she was trying to avoid us. And instead, she came to exercise in the middle of the night?
However,
Perhaps, but it's difficult for me to imagine she would have come alone. She did want to start exercising, but she specifically mentioned she couldn't do it by herself. She needed support from others. So you're saying she could have come here in the middle of the night to train in secret, but that she would also have come with someone else. It's a possibility, I think. Sakura's account has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your handbook. Dude has a real complex about being weak. You heard Chihiro talking about it, right? I need to get stronger. Yeah, I do remember she said that more than once. Which explains the trip down here. But did she really need to get stronger that badly? You already mentioned it, but she was a girl after all. Most girls aren't all that strong. I don't know, man. Haven't really thought about that stuff. The cause of Chihiro's complex, I can't help wondering what it might be. Now I believe it's about time for us to move on. Already?
What?
New clues won't magically appear by standing around here. We need to check every aspect of this case. That's
Let's
true,
go.
but if you're satisfied, let's hurry up and proceed. So this is our next location. Place is related to the investigation. Figure it out for yourself. It's no fun if you don't, right? I do feel like this is relevant because it was heard, maybe? Because of, fortune teller guy, he heard something like this. Okay. What could be relevant here? If I remember right, this card reader is meant to work with our handbooks, right?
What?
Do you have an issue with it? If so, you should take it up with Monokuma. He said that quickly and sharply clapped his hands together.
Did you call
You
for
called for me? Has he been domesticated?
That's right.
It seems that Makoto has a question for you.
You need something?
What's up? It's just about this card reader.
Yep.
The card readers have all been designed to interface with each of your handbooks. You can only enter the locker room corresponding to the gender listed in your individual handbook. And it's impossible for two people in a row to go through while the door's unlocked, right?
Unbelievable.
If there were some sort of erotic terrorist on the prowl, a ceiling-mounted Gatling gun would initiate a Swiss cheese slaughter. And the school regulations prohibit anyone from lending someone else their handbook, correct?
Of course.
Correctly correct. So then, only girls can go in the girls' locker room, and only boys can go in the boys' locker room. In other words, Chihiro's body being found in the girls' locker room means... Hey Makoto, I can see right through you. See right through me? Allow me to tell you what you're thinking. Since Chihiro was found in the girls' locker room, the killer must have been able to get in there.
So, in other words,
As such, the killer must be one of the girls. Did I get that right?
such ignorance.
Good lord, you're simple, but am I wrong? You should pay closer attention to the regulations. The answer has been in front of you the entire time. Loaning your e-handbook to another student is strictly prohibited. Only the act of loaning a handbook is prohibited. Borrowing someone else's is perfectly fine. Oh, shoot. Okay, I didn't even consider that. You managed to sniff out the loophole in the regulations. Knowing you, I would bet you created it on purpose, didn't you? Add a little more excitement to things. You're treating me like a puny little appetizer instead of the main course that I am. Now then, since the dead can't actually talk, they're not people anymore, they're things.
Yep.
Get it? Got it? Good. Hold on, you're saying there's a loophole, but in order to borrow something from someone, then that means someone would have to loan it. So, oh, Sleepy, just listening to you makes me want to pass out. Be more like Byakuya and get your poop together, or else I'll charge you with criminal negligence. No more questions, figure out the rest on your own self.
That's fine.
I know you're unfortunately lacking in mental faculties, so I'll fill you in on myself. Let's head to the main hall. The main hall. That'll help you understand what's going on. Oh, shoot. Here. We came to the main hall. What are we looking for here? Does that mean I have to figure it out myself? Why'd he team up with me if he's like... Oh well. Mailbox. Could something be inside? It's an e-handbook. There's 3 of them. But what are they doing here? Finally found them. Did you know these were here, Byakuya? I happened to find them by chance myself the other day. There's a system in place where the handbooks of dead students get delivered to this mailbox. These 3 handbooks belong to Junko, Leon, and Sayaka. You can go ahead and confirm it yourself. I immediately turned on one of the handbooks, and when I did... Sayaka Maizono. You're right, this is Sayaka's handbook. Now, do you understand this is the key to the loophole I revealed earlier? I feel like I'm starting to get it. Loaning another. Borrowing someone else's is fine. They took one of these. So, it opens it up to it could be a male student.
What?
Hold on a second. What's wrong?
Very strange.
One of the handbooks won't turn on. Is it broken? Whose is it? The other handbook showed Junko's name when I started it up. Then the one that won't turn on must be Leon's, right?
I see.
It would make sense, yes. After all, he did get pummeled with dozens and dozens of baseballs. Pummeled with baseballs. The memory of it came flooding back. That cruel punishment which led to Leon's death. The execution that the mastermind concocted. A cruel, heartless death. You're right, it wouldn't be surprising for the handbook to break during that kind of assault.
Damn it!
Hey, hey! Hey, hey, hey! Hey! What? The e-handbook is essential to student life here. Crucial, integral, instrumental, a super big deal. There's no way it would break that easy. But it did.
That's impossible!
If I say it wouldn't break, it wouldn't freaking break. It can withstand up to 10 tons of pressure. And it's waterproof up to 100 meters, okay? I don't care how many baseballs you hit it with, it wouldn't do crap. Oh, but even my amazing handbook does have one single weak point. It does?
I can't hear
It's
you.
a secret. I wouldn't want you to go breaking any more handbooks.
What?
That Leon must have broken it somehow without realizing it was a weakness, right? Hard to say. Well, you know what I think? I think his handbook isn't actually broken.
What?
You might ask, how could that be? Leaving the question hanging in the air, Monokuma disappeared. What just happened? Monokuma said it's not broken. It's an undeniable fact that it's not turning on.
That's fine.
I don't see any connection to the case, so it doesn't matter for now. You think so? Either way, something about it still bothers me. Should be enough to get things rolling. Let's begin our investigation in earnest and track down the true culprit. We need to find out who killed Chihiro. To be exact, not quite. Not quite. There's still one more thing waiting to be. Okay. It's a good thing he's here to tell me. These? Oh, these could have been the ones that made the noise. Or no. Let me check the mailbox again. One more thing. This TV? I don't see any clues around here anywhere. Maybe this one? Well, maybe I have to talk to you. To be exact, not quite. What do you mean by that? Certainly I want to reveal Chihiro's killer, but more precisely. I want to discover the true identity of Genocide Jack. And you really think, you truly believe Genocide Jack is the one who killed Chihiro?
Don't make me repeat myself.
Absolutely, I have no doubt that Genocide Jack is the culprit in this case. That murderous fiend is Genocide Jack, right? There's nobody else it could be. A murderous fiend who kills again and again using a bizarre and brutal method. They're like a ghost, attacking suddenly, then slipping away before the police can catch up to them. And what nickname did the internet give to this mysterious serial killer, Genocide Jack? They say he has killed thousands of people, but that's gotta be an urban legend. Still, one of us could really be a demented, psychotic killer like that. You're not wrong to wonder. But words mean little right now. I have something that will prove it, and I can show you. Hold on. More waiting to be checked. Oh, do I gotta talk to you again?
Don't make me repeat.
I have a basis to believe that I assure you Genocide Jack is one of us. Is there really proof? There's somewhere I'd like to take you. This will provide all the evidence you need.
It's all clear now.
Evidence that Genocide Jack is the one that killed Chihiro. Evidence. Does something like that really... Hey, you two! Big trouble, need your help.
I don't have time.
We're
to play
busy,
with
leave
you.
us alone. It's an
mean,
emergency. You gotta help me. What do you need?
please. I mean,
Okay, what is it? What happened?
well,
Something's wrong with Toko. She's acting super strange. She was acting pretty strange earlier, right? What should we do, Byakuya?
Very strange.
Since it's Toko, I must admit, I'm intrigued. I suppose we can take a second to see what's going on with her. Are you sure?
Don't make me repeat myself.
I didn't expect that. I thought for sure he'd just say no. That'd be the end of it.
yeah.
Let's go.
He headed to the dorms to Toko's room, most likely. Toko inside? Some kind of emergency? Doorbell, maybe? Or...
Such ignorance.
Oh gosh, okay. We can't knock on the door. Oh, hello. You guys are too slow. I think you're just too fast. What's this emergency?
So,
After what happened in the girls' locker room, we left Toko in her room so she could lay down. After a while, we came back to check on her, you know, see how she was doing, but when we did, it was weird. You refused to come out and kept saying all this weird stuff. Weird stuff.
That's fine.
Okay. Toko, you here? An aura of negativity flowed out from behind the door, forcing a gasp out of me. What?
Oh, nothing. It's just that Hina was really worried about you, holding yourself up in your room.
leave me alone.
Yeah, sure thing. But could you open up just for a second?
Won't allow it.
Huh?
I won't let Genocide Jack have control.
Just like that, she slammed the door in my face. What was that? She's been acting like that the whole time, and I rang a little while ago. I'll drive out the killer, drive out the mysterious fiend. Didn't make any sense, right? I was afraid to leave her in there alone, so I tried to bust down her door. But it felt like something was holding it shut on the other side. I couldn't even budge it. Toko was scared enough to bar even her door? Does she think the same thing as Byakuya? Does she think the serial killer Genocide Jack really murdered Chihiro? Is that why Toko's so scared?
But
Whatever it is, I'm really worried about her. Isn't there anyone who might be able to persuade her? Byakuya. She has a crush on you.
That's fine.
You're gonna talk to her, Byakuya? Well, I guess you can be nice when you want to. Byakuya stood in front of her door, not making a sound, and pressed the doorbell. After a few moments.
what do you want?
Leave me alone, you're all so annoying. Ah, Byakuya.
It's Byakuya.
It's Byakuya. I'm sorry I couldn't keep our promise. Don't worry, never again. I won't let Genocide Jack have control ever again. And with that, the door slammed shut. Promise? Even Byakuya couldn't pull it off. There's nothing else we can do. Let's get back to the investigation. Hold on. What was Toko talking about just now? Something about a promise?
What?
Oh, I have no idea. Another one of her delusions, I'm sure. But
Stop talking.
if I say I don't know, that means I don't know. Just let Hina take care of her.
Let's go.
Okay. I tried to talk to him several times as we walked, but he didn't even look back, let alone say anything. Just kept walking around, or walking toward his destination. Finally, his feet brought him to a stop in front of a certain room. The library. Come on, let's go in. I do want to see what's in the archives. I remember on the other side of this door is the archive, right?
Let's go.
There's so many books and files. So much dust, too.
So in other words,
I'd say there's enough value in this place to endure the dust.
that's enough.
Those documents are dangerous. Dangerous. They detail all the people who control the world from behind the scenes. Dangerous truth for a commoner. Like members of the Diet or something. No, I mean the ones with real power, the secret council controlling everything from the shadows. If you're ready to be disappeared for it, take a look. There are some very interesting people in there. Just kidding, right? Am I? I'll just let it go for now. This shelf is stuffed tight with files. Without really thinking about it, I picked one at random. You have a sharp eye indeed to select that file.
That's right.
That's the report on a presidential assassination. The original is kept at the National Library. It won't be declassified for another 30 years. Are you sure you want to look at it now? There's no telling whose crosshairs you might wind up in for peeking at it. Without making a sound, I return the file to the shelf. Okay. So this is all actually very valuable information. Judging by the smudges in the dust, it looks like there was something inside. Wonder what it was. There's an extension cord plugged in there. It proved very useful when I was in the library. Extension cord, huh? It's a desk lamp. Ah. The same one I saw Byakuya using in the library before.
What?
You have a problem with that lamp? It was here before, then I moved it over there. It's too dark over there, so I thought I'd put it to good use. There's a ton of thick files stuffed into the bookshelf. Thinking about looking through any of them, let me give you a little warning. These things are filled with graphic, disturbing photos from all kinds of crime scenes. The kind of thing any normal person wouldn't ever want to look at. Be careful. What do you mean? Investigation reports related to different cold cases. Internal documents for police eyes only. They're not the kind of thing you'd expect to leak. Are you finally beginning to understand the true splendor of this library? The entire reason I was interested in this library is because of this room right here.
Interesting.
It's home to classified government documents, police records, things no ordinary person would ever see. Isn't it magnificent? Does it have anything on Genocide Jack? This can't be for real, right?
Such ignorance.
That's your guys' problem. Anything that doesn't fit into your preconceived reality, you label it a lie. It's not that, it's not like I totally refuse to believe it, but there's just so much. How could anyone have put all this together? It just goes to show how much power Hope's Peak truly wields, or perhaps the mastermind may have wanted to provide us with enough entertainment to keep us from getting bored. No use, I can't keep up with all this, it's just too unreal. What's wrong, you still can't believe it? What about you, can you believe it so easily? Things like that are usually impossible.
What?
What do you mean usually? Usual, normal, ordinary, simple. Those things don't exist anywhere in the real world. You don't understand what they actually represent. You don't understand the nature of anything. What you consider usual is based on your common sense, right? What makes you think your own common sense applies to me at all? The documents gathered here are genuine. I've reviewed them multiple times, there's no doubt. You're saying you've read all these documents more than once? Well, this has to be like top secret and confidential stuff, right? So why? My family has a reading room just like this at our home. Ours is bigger, of course, and not as dusty. Members of the Togami family have access to any variety of government-related documents. That includes foreign powers as well as domestic. Was that possible?
So, in other words...
There's a secret council that controls the world from the shadows. My family is a member of that council. And I have within me the bloodline that will allow me to one day bend the world to my will. To become such a ruler, I must know all levels of this world backwards and forwards. Whenever I have time, I like to review whatever documents and materials that interest me. Which is why I can proclaim without a doubt that the materials gathered here are the real thing. This is beyond believing or not believing. Byakuya is actually starting to scare me more than the actual mastermind. What always interested me the most were the cold case police investigation reports. Reading through those reports has always been a hobby of mine ever since I was little. It's excellent mental exercise. I've solved more than a few of these cases just by reviewing the reports. And among all the reports are one of my recent favorites, is the Genocide Jack case. As he talked, Byakuya grabbed a specific file from the shelf.
That's right.
That is the complete case file. Every single report surrounding the Genocide Jack cases has been compiled in here. Because there are so many, allow me to quickly summarize the main points. To begin, there are two notable characteristics in every Genocide Jack murder. The first characteristic is that at every crime scene, the word bloodlust is written in the victim's own blood. And the second is that when the victims are murdered, their bodies are suspended in a certain way. Bloodlust is written in blood, and the victim's body is suspended. Exactly the same as what happened to Chihiro. Save your surprise, the best part is yet to come. For the second characteristic, where the victims are suspended. The only ones who knew about that fact were members of the police and other higher-ups. By all accounts, nobody in the media ever found out. Huh? In other words, no one on the news, no one online, nobody knew about that aspect of each crime. Only key officials and the killer himself knew about this act of mounting the victim. Now, if you recall Chihiro's corpse, her body was certainly mounted in this fashion. So how could the killer have known about suspending the victim?
That's right.
That's the key question. But in fact, the answer is quite simple.
So, in other words,
The culprit isn't a copycat killer, it's the real Genocide Jack.
in other words,
That right there is the evidence that Genocide Jack has hidden himself among the rest of us. And Genocide Jack really is. Such a brutal, fiendish killer really is walking around among us.
interesting.
Things are starting to get interesting, aren't they? I never imagined a killer with such a reputation would ever become part of our little game. Now, don't you think it would be good for you to take a look at what I've already seen? You might just manage to foray a clue or two.
Such ignorance.
You get down on your knees and beg, I might even show you myself. Okay, that ain't happening, dude. I only do that for girls. What is this over here? There's something selectable up here in the corner that I can't touch. About that Genocide Jack. Wow, could you let me see it?
Fine.
I flipped through it with tense, nervous fingers. Suddenly my hand stopped. I've reached the page where photos of the scene of each crime had all been collected. There's scissors on most of them. Scissors were later used to attach the victim to the wall. Scissors were later used to attach the victim to the wall. So, and these were stab wounds, not blunt. Oh, hold on. Killed and suspended in exactly the same way. Now take a look at the next page and you'll find another interesting tidbit. Profiling results? All of the crimes took place either on weekdays at night or during holidays, either day or night. The most common time for killings to take place was on holidays in the afternoon. Based on these facts, it could be suggested that the suspect may be a student. Evidence suggests that the suspect lingered at the scene, but when they did leave, they were in a panic. Because an eyewitness has never come forward, it's unlikely there was any external reason for this. This confused behavior suggests that the suspect may potentially suffer from dissociative identity disorder.
So, in other words,
The culprit may well have a split personality. A split personality, like the kind of thing you see on TV? So I'm part of another totally unbelievable story. But this one is way more unbelievable than anything else up until now. Or maybe it really isn't, I don't know. I feel like my mind has gone numb. Genocide Jack case file has been added to the Truth Bullet section.
let's go.
Where are we going? Okay. This is where we part ways. I have some things I need to take care of before the class trial. Just all of a sudden like that?
I don't have time to play.
Enough of your annoying misapprehensions. You really think we'd be together the whole time? Take responsibility for yourself and do something useful. Move the investigation forward on your own.
Goodbye.
Just like that, he was gone. Just as quickly as he'd asked me to join him, he cut me off. In the end, I feel like I was just some plaything getting tossed around. At the same time, I'd uncovered some really important clues thanks to him. Genocide Jack is the one that killed Chihiro. That murderous fiend is one of us. But who was it? I have to find that out, no matter what it takes. There's somewhere I have to go investigate one more time. Back to the crime scene. Alright, back to the crime scene. What are you doing here?
Da-da-da-da-da!
Ifumi has discovered evidence revealing the identity of the culprit.
I feel as if...
What did you find?
That's it. I'm sure of
What I
it.
found will steal the killer's breath from his lungs. Are you sure about that? Miss Ludenberg said she'd witnessed something worthwhile too.
Well, it would seem.
Okay. Warehouse by the dorms. He was there, but at the same time, not there. We gotta go to the warehouse. Anything in here of interest? Oh, shoot. The posters were switched. It's a popular boy band called Tornado. Somehow it doesn't seem to... This was switched. I remember. The posters were switched. Hold on, there's a strange stain on the carpet. What is it? The boys' locker room carpet has been added to the truth section. I have to go find Celeste as well. There's definitely like a locker back there too. See if I can find anything in here. Nope, nothing in here. Okay, whatever. The poster was switched and there's a stain in the boys' locker room. I'm starting to think... Oh shoot. I'm starting to think it may be a male. That a guy was the one that murdered. Okay, so I can't just leave or teleport out. These posters were switched. The big-breasted swimsuit model is pretty noticeable too. The girls' locker room doesn't seem like the kind of place you'd find something like this. The poster in the other locker room is... That's right, there's definitely something strange about this. But the posters have been switched. But if they were, why? What reason would they... Maybe I should talk to someone who knows a little bit more about the locker rooms. Spend a lot of time exercising in the girls' locker room, right, Sakura?
Of course.
I've used it nearly every day since it opened up. Sometimes Hina and I use it together. Okay then, let me ask you something. Do you think the posters in the boys' and girls' locker rooms could have been switched?
I'm sorry.
I can't really say. I never really paid any attention to the posters.
However...
There is something that's been bothering me about the locker room. I like to drink a little protein coffee every time I finish exercising. You have protein coffee? In the warehouse, it's not the highest quality, but I don't have a lot of other options. I mix protein powder with coffee and down a glass of it after exercising. I spilled some on the carpet in the girls' locker room and I left a stain. A stain. I don't see any stain on the carpet now.
Of course.
I noticed it earlier, the stain has disappeared. Someone came along and cleaned it up. Isn't it unusually clean, as if there was never stain here to begin with? Oh, shoot. So the carpet was also switched. Do you have anything to say? Have you made any progress on your investigation?
Indeed.
Generally speaking.
However,
I have to get going. There's something unrelated to... I have something unrelated to take care of. Something besides the investigation. What is it?
well,
Nothing you need to worry about. Just concentrate on the murder.
so then,
Before I go, let me give you one piece of advice. You should examine Chihiro's body one more time, thoroughly. Also, her handbook is missing. You might want to determine its whereabouts.
goodbye.
That's it. The handbook is missing, okay. Thoroughly, but... okay. Rope, okay. Extension cord. This was found in the archive section. I didn't see any reason to think too much about either of them. Something's not quite right. What does this all mean? The true nature of the rope that was used to suspend Chihiro. Okay, so... Okay, I can't teleport. Let's just leave. We have to go visit the archives, and there was a extension cord that was missing. There's one right here. The extension cord was in there before. It's gone. Did someone take it out of the archive? I have to go find Celeste. It's not plugged in. The lamp cord's not... Yeah. No extension cord here now. I wonder if... Okay. Celeste was by the warehouse. Hey, you have anything?
How unfortunate.
I should be able to find Celeste. Hello. What are you doing here? This warehouse is amazing. It has absolutely everything one might need to live a full life. From food to clothes to towels, there's an endless supply to choose from. I see that, but have you found anything related to the case? I knew you were going to ask me that. I thought talking about the warehouse itself might misdirect you, but I see it was pointless. And you did find something. I will tell you and only you.
Actually,
I saw her here. Chihiro was in the warehouse. What, really?
indeed.
Right before nighttime.
Hmm?
What are you doing
Why
out
are
this
you
late?
doing out this late?
Oh, I was just...
Are you planning to go exercise, perhaps?
What? How did you know?
Because I can see a blue track jacket sticking out of that duffel bag you're carrying.
Oh, you're right. Thanks. Well, I'd better get going. I'm kind of in a hurry.
She stuffed the jacket into her bag in a hurry. It was almost like she was trying to hide it. And just like that, she was gone.
Yes, indeed.
I assumed she was merely stocking up to go exercise in the morning, but it would appear she ignored the nighttime rule and headed directly to the girls' locker room. If she hadn't broken our rule, none of this would ever have happened. Get what you deserve, I suppose. So apparently, she went to the girls' locker room late at night in order to exercise without anyone knowing. The strange thing is, there was no trace of the track jacket or duffel bag Celeste said she saw Chihiro carrying. Which would mean the killer would have gotten rid of it somehow. Gotten rid of it. Or kept it in their room. But we'll check the we'll check the trash just to be sure. This been used? Oh, it's not related. Okay, sure. Maybe in the laundry. I will check each and every one of these. Oh, we get coins for them too. Oh wow, from each one we get a coin. Okay, this is worth it. I think I checked that other one before. Or we only get 2 coins. I think that's fine. So nothing in the laundry. They must have gotten rid of it somehow. Anyone in the dining hall? Hey, you're relevant. You left her. My head was all swimming and I was getting pretty hungry. Oh, but don't worry. I'm gonna head back as soon as I'm done eating. Coco's not exactly pleasant, but I'm still worried about her. Speaking of which, what are you eating? A donut, of course. Of course. There's 2 things I'm sure God created. Outer space and donuts. Really. I bet Chihiro would have liked to eat more donuts. Maybe that was her one big regret. I should have tried to spend more time with her. Come to think of it. Who did she spend time with?
Well...
Didn't really hang out with the other girls that much. Sakura said something similar. Even though you and her invited Chihiro to exercise with you, she always refused.
Yeah, totally.
She stayed away from all the other girls. Was she just shy? She talked to the boys all the time. Isn't it kind of weird to be shy around your own sex, but totally fine with the opposite sex? I have a guess. I have a guess as to...
I'm getting tired of waiting. Shall we just plunge right in?
Is Chihiro a guy?
It's the moment
No,
you've all been waiting
that could be
for.
wrong.
The class trial. You remember where to meet, right? Please go through the red door on the first floor of the school.
Begin the class trial, or it's about to begin. The red door is right through here. Can I check my file real quick? And also, we don't know your ultimate ability. Hold on. That would make sense as to why she was in the male locker room. So, is everyone ready to... What? Am I blind or are we missing someone?
Yo.
Toko's not here. And Toko is... You really don't remember? Kidding? I'm just kidding. How could I forget that little nut job? He's a crucial part of the class trial this time.
What are you gonna do?
Okie dokie. I'll go ahead and drag her out here, kicking and screaming. Just one moment, please. And just like that, he said a few minutes later, he reappeared, dragging Toko behind him. I told him I didn't want to, but he forced me. I can't believe you would drag a girl around. You're terrible. So now everyone's here, right? Okay then, hustle onto the elevator and let's get this show on the road. I'll see you guys down there.
Let's go.
Shall we get going? It's time to find out who killed Chihiro. Chihiro. She was so gentle, so calm and meek. Nobody had any problems with her. I think... There's something I think that Kyoko knows that Makoto doesn't, and I think I can infer what it is. She said to investigate the body a little more thoroughly.
Shall we go?
Then Leon's handbook is also missing.
It's true.
Not missing. Leon's handbook was not working, quote unquote. Chihiro's handbook was missing. The steel box sank with heavy clinking sounds deeper and deeper into the ground. As we went deeper, the uneasiness in my heart grew bigger and bigger. The elevator was unaffected, however, and continued to descend without hesitation, until finally, it came to a sudden stop. What do you think? I redecorated. Isn't it so fresh? Isn't it so exciting? Don't waste our time with stupid questions. Let's get this over with.
Very nice.
Okay, so the difference here from the first case to this one, I don't know who did it. I really don't.
Well,
Let's get this show on the road. Everyone, please find your assigned seats. The first case was obvious. It was Leon, but here, I don't know who it is. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith, a deadly class trial. Let's save. I don't have any more skills, I think. Neutral liberation. That's cool. Okay, yeah, that's everything. Okay, so this points to things were switched. Things were switched between the boys and the girls' locker rooms. Handbook has gone missing. Inferiority complex about being weak. I think Chihiro was a guy. The Hideyoshi type situation.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, then. So, first off, let's talk about the murder weapon!
We have to make clear what was used to deliver the fatal blow. Locker room dumbbell.
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a head wound.
Yes.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
Where's the dumbbell?
That's wrong.
Can we agree that the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell? Found at the scene of the crime? It was covered in blood. And there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
And the wound on the victim's head is consistent with the shape of the dumbbell. As far as I'm concerned, there's no mistake and no room for doubt on this one.
You looked at her head wound?
Of course we would. It was relevant.
That's so creepy!
If you don't mind, I will proceed from here. Let's move on to discussion of the culprit. Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already quite...
You're ahead of me. I don't actually know.
For real?
Chihiro's killer is the fiendish serial killer.
Okay, well, yeah.
Genocide Jack.
That's what he says. Genocide Jack, the fiendish serial killer. Did he really kill Chihiro? A new element has been added to non-stop debates. Would you like to hear more? Absolutely. Lines of white noise will appear to disrupt your reactions. Oh, obstacles in your debate. There's a way to keep this white noise from getting in your way. Press the A button to attach the silencer to shoot down the white noise. Okay.
The culprit is Genocide Jack. I'm sure of it. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible!
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on! There's just no proof for it.
No, that's wrong! I might know one reason he could be involved.
What?
I found this file while I was looking around the archive in the library. I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
What? That's kind of weird as shit, isn't it? What was something like that doing in the library?
The why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth. So let's forget about that for now. More importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail. According to the file, there appear to be two defining characteristics in every Genocide Jack case.
He's right.
The first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder.
Oh, that's right. Boob lust.
No, you've got it all wrong.
No. It's actually bloodlust.
Thank you for being serious about this, Aoi.
But more important is the other characteristic, and it's something that has never been made public.
Never made public? What the hell is it?
Why don't you tell them, Makoto?
Has to do with the position. How the victim was positioned.
I got it! Apparently, in every Genocide Jack case, the killer suspends the body in a certain way. Other than the killer, the only people who know about this are the higher-ups in the police department.
However, Chihiro was most definitely suspended in the same way. So, How did the culprit know about this when only high-level police officials were aware of it? There's only one logical answer I can think of. It's because the culprit in this case is the real Genocide Jack.
No fucking way!
You're saying Genocide Jack is one of us?
Yes, in fact, it's Toko.
What?
Genocide Jack's true identity
Huh,
is
okay.
Toko Fukawa.
So, I am inclined to believe you here.
What? Hey, okay, wait, hold on a sec. Toko has like bloodophobia or whatever, remember?
But
What kind of serial
it
killer
also
is afraid of blood?
suggests that the killer has a dissociative personality disorder, or split personality.
Is Toko Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no.
Another riddle. Man, why is this gotta be so complicated?
It's a riddle for sure, but I feel like I understand it. What it means for Genocide Jack to be Toko, but also not to not be Toko. The answer is that he's not just one person, but multiple people, right? I don't know what... Oh, it's S. Okay. Oh, school... Wait, no. Here... I don't know what... Skib... Schism? Schizo? Schizo! Okay.
Now I understand. Is it because Genocide Jack has a split personality?
Huh?
I think I read that somewhere in the file too. They thought that the suspect might have, what did they call it? Dissociative identity disorder.
Oh, okay. But still, to go and say that about Miss Fukawa is...
Perfectly acceptable. Toko's strange behavior after seeing the body
That is true,
is
she
proof
did...
enough that she has a split personality.
She did demonstrate that. The one thing that shows Toko could have split personality has to do with her behavior. Her behavior changed.
I got it!
Yeah, when she
You're
went back up.
talking about how she started acting totally different than usual, right?
That's right. Think back. She fainted when she saw Chihiro's corpse, and then, when she woke up...
I'm fine, I'm fine. Yeah, haha. Is that a dead body? Hey, are you dead? The world has a front and back, a top ending and a bottom, a sea of truth and a web of lies. This is quite concerning. I mean, she sounds completely different. Okay, I'm being
Acting funny, that's
convinced.
for sure. That melancholy tone of hers completely disappeared.
Don't go assigning adjectives to my tone without permission.
Not to mention, once she regained consciousness and saw Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm. In other
I'm being
words,
convinced by
within her is
Byakuya.
one personality that can't handle blood, and one that obviously can.
So when Toko trapped herself in her room, it's because she was scared of Genocide Jack?
I won't let Genocide Jack have control. I'll drive out the killer, drive out the murderous fiend.
The reason she locked herself in her room wasn't to keep other people from getting in. It was to keep her other personality from getting out.
What?
Oh.
Toko was afraid. Afraid of the murderous fiend inside of her. Of killing even more people.
How?
Yeah. How can you know all this?
I do believe you misunderstood her. What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this? No. What she wants to know is, how could you tell them?
Huh?
Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation. She told me a most interesting story. She said a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid
Oh,
it could
shoot.
appear
Okay.
and attack at any time. And that trepidation is what's caused her to have such a bleak attitude. Isn't that right, Toko?
This is all a lie. Right, Toko?
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
What?
You promised. I can't believe you lied.
You have only yourself to blame. You came to me with your tragic little story. I didn't ask
I mean,
you to.
Byakuya's cold, but he's right.
This is the real world, not some romantic fantasy fairy tale. Besides, you broke your promise first. You said that as long as you were here, no matter what, you wouldn't let Genocide Jack kill anyone. But in spite of that promise,
Someone did die due to Genocide Jack.
You said if I kept my promise, you would go out with me. That's the only reason I promised.
how many times do I have to tell you? I never said that, but you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from killing, could you?
I tried.
Okay, so it's confirmed.
I swear
She
I
just
tried to control it,
He just confessed.
But your efforts were useless. What a disappointment.
I hate you.
Well, the opening act is nearly finished. All that's left is to hear from the person in question directly.
The person you don't mean.
Toko's body suddenly lunged backwards. A huge thud echoed across the courtroom, but in the next second...
Well, hello there.
Okay.
Is it me you were hoping to see?
What the heck?
So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna
Well, we can vote you out and you're gonna die.
do? I'm the ultimate murderous fiend.
Okay.
Genocide Jack. Or better yet,
So it's
let's go
confirmed.
with Genocide Jill.
What the fuck is this?
Toko, what happened to you?
Not Toko. That's a loser name. And what happened is a textbook split personality. So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to one's faults.
So intense.
Like they say, sound and murderous minds, sound and
So,
murderous
like, case
bodies.
closed, right? We just vote her out and we win.
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know. Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie. Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
We should end this right here. This is the murderous fiend Genocide Jack. This is beyond insane.
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you. I am the mastermind of all masterminds! Just kidding!
Then it's not true?
Of course it's not
Oh,
true.
what?
How dare you try to link me
Okay,
to
so
that
she wasn't actually the
creepazoid?
one that killed?
And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless. I mean, they just let this idiotic, bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town.
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people. It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living
Maybe I
itself
was too rash.
causes
Maybe she
pain
didn't
for
actually kill.
everyone. Just kidding again!
This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death. There's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt.
A motive?
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone
like I'm being-
can murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed. Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack. If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined. So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit. But I cannot imagine anyone.
It's true. Maybe we were really rushed to believe it. So that makes me think Byakuya.
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect any of us to believe you?
Yeah. I could never believe
Yeah,
a word you
it's
say,
hard
you
to
monster.
believe her, but maybe she's totally right about that. Something's still bothering me. What she said, I need to get some more details about all of this. Status of the dead body.
Sorry, but I didn't
You say that, but do you really expect
Dude, I'm gonna have to
us
fight
believe it?
everyone.
Perhaps
Thinking,
if you had an alibi, that would change things. Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking.
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely.
not entirely.
No, that's wrong. Are the methods of murder really exactly the same? I'm not so sure about
This is a copycat killer.
that. I think there's
This
a slight
okay.
difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Huh? How's it any different?
Oh, you don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell you! I murder with passion and conviction. I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things. Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee.
Oh wow, the stray.
This is no creation of mine.
Let me rephrase that in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
In the photos from the other Genocide Jack cases, look at the neck and stomach. The victim's fatal injury. It's not blunt. It's stabs.
For one, the cause of death is different. In the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way. According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors. But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method? And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
That's right! In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce!
Could you please stop comparing
Yeah.
killing people to cooking? So, are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
The second difference is related to how she was suspended. In the photos of the other Genocide Jack cases, all the other victims were stabbed through their hands. What was used to suspend her was an extension cord.
Do you remember what the killer used to suspend her? They used some kind of rope to hang her up by her wrists.
What is your point?
Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases, something else was used to suspend them. Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
And guess what? I use my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement. Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use. And you know what else? Big Mac said there's two differences, but he's wrong.
Big Mac?
Big Mac.
Are you referring to me?
How does that nickname make sense?
Listen up, Big
Oh,
Mac.
Makoto.
There's
Okay.
actually one more difference.
Huh?
She only kills men.
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case. There's a pattern there, just waiting to be discovered.
Pattern.
She only kills men.
Figure that out, and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
But
I got it! Is it because Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo, bullseye, right on the money!
What are you talking about?
In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
Ken Harada, 32, Tetsuhiro Honda, 17, Shoji Gaku, 23, Hano Issei, 14, Takeshi Yoshida, 30, Koma Tsunataro, Takefumi Gono, Uchida Naohira, Takeshi Masamune, Yuto Yumejima, and there was no end to it.
They were all guys?
That's right! The people I kill with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men! I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
The hell is wrong with you?
I can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy
Okay.
fangirl, and the mopey side of me just hates it. But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full
So since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her?
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid. I have too much passion.
At least
and
she's
conviction to cross that
consistent.
line.
We can kind of
Reality
rely
of
on
the
this
one and only.
to figure out this case.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy. But that's not all there is to it. It's a different matter entirely. When you're forced to kill in order to survive.
Quiet, lowly cur!
Lowly? Cur?
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect! That does make some amount of sense. Plus, whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors. Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school?
I feel like she has her own.
Any scissors? I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class envy of the entire world scissors!
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that?
He has them right now. Yeah.
She's fully equipped. That's right. So I can kill anywhere, anytime. Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors by my side? Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong. You can't, can you? Gutter dogs, all of you.
Either way, she should not be released into the world again. He is a straight up serial killer.
I have no idea what's going on anymore. Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Yeah. That's why we figured it had to be the real
So
deal,
that makes
not
me
some
think
copycat killer
it's
or
Byakuya. There is one person who could have copied the Genocide Jack cases. Byakuya.
Here's my answer. Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records. Plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened, hadn't you?
Are you saying
Mr. Togami did it?
Then the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was because he wanted to pin the crime on her.
You know what? It almost worked.
So,
It almost worked.
to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it. The adorable glasses man was behind it all. Oh, I'm on fire!
Well, Byakuya, what's your response?
I see. So now the suspicion falls on me. Then I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an
When you started separating from the group?
Looking back and thinking about it now, the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange.
There's the locker rooms, they're suspicious. Very suspicious, wouldn't you agree? You're leading it. Yeah, you were leading us.
You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy...
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
On the contrary,
Yes.
there's something very strange.
Chihiro is a boy.
Okay then, what's so strange about it? Go ahead, share with the rest of the class.
Yeah, let's hear the new element. Truth flashback. You aim at a weak spot and hold down the Y button. You'll memorize that weak spot. This memorized phrase can only be shot once as a single truth bullet. Make your argument.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
That's a natural reaction for any...
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless distractions. What's so strange about that?
I wish you'd taken me with
Hold
you.
on. Hearing Byakuya's comment on...
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he
Before
was
we
acting
found the
weird
body.
How?
If you're presented with the
Okay,
opportunity
I understand.
to check out the girls' locker
That's a natural reaction.
The victim was Chihiro.
We didn't know.
No, it's wrong. I'll tell you what's so strange about that, because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was. So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak.
Huh?
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead. Show us.
What's with Byakuya's attitude? It's like he doesn't even care. I've got him cornered, but he's acting like it has nothing to do with
What's the
him.
matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is.
There is more to it. Think about it. We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
The differences between this case and the other Genocide Jack murders. The evidence that proves Byakuya is responsible is hidden in there? What could it be?
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again? When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body. But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope. Was it not?
That's right. It absolutely was.
Then there must be something very fishy indeed about that rope.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life. Obviously, somebody else must have had it hidden away somewhere.
The proof that Byakuya did is hidden within the rope, I guess, but first. No. I know where this is.
I want to kill, and I use those same scissors to arrange the body. But Chihiro was suspended. It was some kind of rope.
That's right. It absolutely...
Then there must be something very...
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from?
Here it
I've
is.
never seen that rope before in my life.
That's not true.
No, that's wrong.
You used it for the lamp.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because, you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord?
What? An extension cord?
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you? And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time went missing
Yup.
after the murder.
The lamp was not plugged in.
And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
And Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message. I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right?
He's doing it again. He's totally calm, totally unconcerned. As if he's not even involved. Wait, not even
What's
involved.
wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Huh? Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
I know, But still, there's something that's still bothering me.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
Wait. What was that just now? Something's not right. Chihiro's body was definitely found in the girls' locker room, but does that mean... Scene of the crime.
You say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right?
But that's not true.
But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How disappointing. What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown. She was found dead in the girls' locker room.
She was found dead.
No question
or Chihiro was found dead.
How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well,
things were switched.
I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
The rest of the murder scene? That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all that.
Yep, we do.
I believe I do.
Hey, Byakuya, did that just take you off guard? When the story suddenly moved to the crime scene, Byakuya, who'd been so confident up until now, maybe Byakuya never even realized that the actual scene of the crime could have been somewhere else.
Hey, don't just move on without permission! What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
Evidence that shows the murder took place somewhere else. There was something that switched between the boys and girls. Yeah, it was the poster and the carpet.
I got it! The proof that she was killed somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters?
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big-boobed supermodel. But don't you think that's kind of strange? Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally
Okay.
fake.
So we're just okay with the serial killer just here.
Meanwhile, the boys' locker room had a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado. Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
And there's one other thing I noticed.
Yep,
about
the carpet.
locker room. You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you? Protein coffee? While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet, but I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
It's not that the stain was scrubbed away. It was moved to the boys' locker room.
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too? But why would anyone do that?
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible. Don't what? In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning.
Yeah, why would they do
Why
that?
would the culprit bother doing that?
Huh?
Why would they go through all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime? Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place? To get into the locker rooms,
It's because Chihiro is a guy.
handbook across the card reader device that Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room. She had no way to get into the boys' locker room to begin with.
No, she did have a way. And I can tell you what it was.
I highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Broken e-handbook.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook. She was the ultimate programmer, after all. I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
No, I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in the main
Yup.
hall.
Huh? What thing?
He knows about that.
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course. If she had that,
Oh,
she
shoot.
could get into the boys' locker
I need to get
room
rid of
no
this.
problem.
Theoretically, if Chihiro was able to use Leon's handbook, she could get into the boys' locker room. Okay, it was not used. Yeah, it was not usable. Okay.
Is it really? Could Chihiro really?
She must have hacked. She was the ultimate. I'm sure that would have been no problem.
No, I don't think that's...
She used the thing though. Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
It was broken. Well, not technically broken. It was unusable.
No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's
Well,
handbook?
lending.
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one. In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup, yup, yup. Hit the nail square on the noggin.
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked her.
No,
like said.
no.
She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring.
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook...
Used her own.
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just... wrong?
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
Is that it then? Chihiro was killed in the girls' locker room. Byakuya's the one who did it, really? But still, I don't know what else I can do.
Hold on a second. I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
What the? You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say? There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So...
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
What?
What are you talking about? What other way is there?
By using their own handbook.
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
What? We can do that?
Wait. Just what do you think you're doing?
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, all right then. I declare
Okay.
an official class trial
He's just down for
recess.
that. Okay.
For real?
Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty
Does she
expectations.
know where the
So,
handbook
shall we
is?
go?
So before I even knew what was happening, the class trial had been put on hold. We headed off with Kyoko in the lead, and where she took us was...
The girls' locker room?
You've already searched this place top to bottom. What are you trying to pull, Missy?
I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more time.
Want to check it again?
Be sure to examine the entire body very carefully. Take your time.
Examine her carefully. No, wait.
It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just...
Okay.
Very well. I'll do it.
But you're a girl. You shouldn't have to touch a dead body. Just let one of the boys do it.
No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her. So just leave this.
What is this? Some kind
Okay,
of secret
wait.
girl-on-girl action? Is that what
Yeah,
you're
I know what
about?
Kyoko's alluding to here.
That's not it at all.
Okay. I'm sorry, Chihiro.
Be sure to check her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular mystery.
Her entire body? I know you say that, but... What? This is... What is this...
What is it?
Not possible. It's not possible.
Sakura's eyes were staring wildly at Chihiro's lifeless form. Her massive frame trembled.
This girl is
what?
a boy.
Yup, okay.
Ah, I see. So she was actually a he.
I only figured that out,
Interesting.
like,
Thank you for confirming
a
this
little bit
fact.
before the trial.
You're joking, right?
I wouldn't joke about this.
Then it's really true?
Chihiro was a guy?
That explains
You guys didn't know? Heck, I knew that right.
the
off the
inferiority complex and the obsession with getting stronger.
bat. Chihiro
And the fact
Fumisaki was totally a
that
guy.
she couldn't talk to girls, or Chihiro couldn't talk to girls and was comfortable with guys.
He was a cross-dresser? Oh, I'm really on fire! I wish I had killed him!
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting. Yes, that certainly does make things much more exciting. Now let's ride this wave of excitement back to
Okay.
the courtroom and get back to the
So this
trial.
proves that that Chihiro was in the boys' locker room, and that's why she can't join up with exercising with
I
Sakura,
apologize for keeping you waiting.
even after
Now
being
then,
invited.
Let's resume the class trial. We've all just learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
Yes, well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
You'd think that Chihiro was actually a guy. The thought had never even crossed my
And
mind.
because the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be
That's
true.
probably why the handbook's missing.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved to the girls' locker room. And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
So Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
I still don't understand the motive
Yeah.
for moving the body, but yes, that
There
does
has to
seem
be a
plausible.
reason behind it.
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd. I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his
Okay, you
female body.
don't have to.
This is the most
You
titillating
don't have to say that.
situation.
So now everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear.
So how did you not? If you were the killer, how did you not know that it was moved?
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
Very interesting.
He wouldn't have
This
known.
has become very
Or he didn't know,
interesting
so-
Indeed.
What about you, Makoto? After
Well, without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it. But I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
What? But aren't you the one who accused him in the first place?
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... how can I put it? Overt. He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder.
Why?
At least,
Why
that's
was
how
he
I see
doing it like that?
And Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys'
Yeah,
locker
he
room,
didn't know
it
that.
seemed to rattle you. And then again, when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy. If you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
Mark it as correct?
He's right. I am not the culprit. I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
Are you fucking with us right now?
No, I am not effing with you right now. I'm telling you the truth.
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
Go ahead. Find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
If you're really telling the truth, then
Yeah. Why?
Why do you do that to his body?
My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't you say? Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
You're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we?
It's not clear that Byakuya did it. It's
No,
not.
I'm with Makoto. If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility, because if we're wrong, we all die here.
That's true. Very well then. I'm with you too.
Damn straight. Count me in.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
That's very true.
Our lives are all on the line.
Excellent. Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
What if Byakuya didn't do it? And who's the real killer? Who murdered Chihiro? There's one thing we can be sure that we know about the killer. The killer was able to gain access to the real murder scene, which means the killer is a guy.
I got it!
Since the crime scene was the boys' locker room, you would need a boys' handbook to get in. Since Leon's handbook was apparently broken, the killer would have had to use their own. In other words, it had to have been a guy. But that's still not enough. I need to find some more clues. Celeste's account. Oh, they were in the warehouse, yeah.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing, but did nobody get a look at the killer?
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough for now.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
Shoot!
Hold on.
Isn't there a single clue that, well, did nobody get...
I'm sure if someone saw the killer,
They would have...
Perhaps someone saw the victim at Yeah. All we need right now.
it's over. You want to know who saw the victim? The killer. And only the killer. And it's not like they're just gonna turn themselves in. Game over, man. Game over.
Hold on, hold on.
Not game over!
There is an eyewitness, yes. He has more information about that, okay.
Isn't there a single clue
Would this
that
work?
might lead us to
No.
who did it?
Shoot!
I don't know where to
Isn't there
put
a
this.
single clue that, well, clues did nobody get a...
I'm sure if someone saw the killer,
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
it's over. It's all. You want to know who saw
Where am
the
I supposed to put
killer?
this?
And only the kid. It's not like they're just gonna turn themselves in. Game over, man. Game.
I don't know where to put this.
Not game over!
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it? Well, did nobody get...
I'm sure if someone saw the...
Perhaps someone saw the victim at Yeah. All we need right now is any
Any kind of new
It's
info.
over. You want to know who saw the killer? And only the killer. And it's
What?
Not like they're just gonna
The
turn
heck?
themselves in. Game over, man.
Game over!
Do I just keep missing?
Isn't there a single clue?
Well, did nobody get...
I'm sure if someone saw the...
Perhaps someone saw the victim at Yeah.
It's over. It's all. You want to know who saw the victim? The killer. And only.
There we go, okay.
No, that's wrong!
I guess I was missing the entire time.
I believe someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Now that you mention it, yes. I did see him.
Huh? Really?
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about this. The rest of you had no idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
It was last night, right before nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag, and then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
A track jacket and a duffel bag? But we didn't find anything like that at the murder scene.
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd.
I'd better get going, I'm kind of in a hurry.
Chihiro told me he was in a hurry. But why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone was waiting for him, I should think.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times.
Yeah, because he can't go into the girls' locker room.
Probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding, right?
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much, enough, so that he was willing to risk his
So I have
secret
an idea of who this might be.
Ooh, what a marvelous friendship! The point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit, right? So we just gotta figure out who it was.
But knowing what we know, I can't even guess.
No. You already have what you need to make the connection.
Huh?
You know who the killer is.
Seriously?
I think I have an idea
Who
who.
is it?
I think it's
Who's
you,
the killer?
Mondo.
Think back to the track jacket and duffel bag the killer disposed of. Focus on the details of these items, and it should become obvious who was waiting for him.
Are you sure about that? You really think we can figure out who did it based on 2 pieces of evidence that we don't have?
Why? You want to track down some
Oh, wait.
fingerprints or something?
Who is on trash duty this week?
Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.
As was noted, the evidence is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
Maybe, but we can make certain inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
Who's on trash
Easy
duty?
for you to say, but fine. Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket? The bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse. All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine what would make that one special.
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from. Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket he took.
Does Chihiro's track jacket really hold some clue about the killer? Somehow it's really hard to believe. I feel like that's not the bullet I need.
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
For running?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! We picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
I don't even have a tracksuit. Cause exercising sucks.
I have a white tracksuit personally. I got it from the warehouse, if you must know.
Did any of that really help us get any closer to figuring out who the culprit is?
No way.
Not a chance.
You heard him, right? What he just said without even realizing it?
How did he know
First
something
of all,
like that?
We know that Chihiro was on his way to go exercise. So next we have, why did he choose this?
What do you mean, the specific?
I got it! We picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit.
So, what you're saying, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
I don't even have a tracksuit.
No, wait, this isn't the...
Cause exercising sucks.
I have a white tracksuit personally.
I need to get rid of that.
I got it from the warehouse, if you must know.
Did any of that really help us get
The
any
killer was
closer?
wearing the same...
Not a chance.
How did he know something like that?
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go so next we have, why did he choose the specific tracksuit?
We didn't say it was
What do you
blue.
mean, the specific?
I got it! We picked it matched the one the culprit.
So, what you're saying, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit?
We didn't say it was blue.
Hold on a second, Mondo. What did you just say?
Huh? What'd I say?
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said...
I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag. And then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
She never said anything about the jacket's color.
Yes, it's important sometimes to have an omission of information so that the a culprit can reveal themselves.
So why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
What are you? You just...
Hey, Celeste, what color was Chihiro's tracksuit?
It was
As
blue.
a matter of fact, it was blue.
And before we began the trial, did you tell anyone that?
The only one I told about any of this was you.
Then, Mondo, how did you know what color Chihiro's tracksuit was?
Because I just...
Okay, it's Mondo.
I'm sure he saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
No, that can't be it. The bag and clothes were surely disposed of by the time we began our investigation.
Then the only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit was is if he saw Cherry with it before he died. That's the only possibility. Cherry?
Very.
Are you talking about Chihiro? So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit or didn't you?
Just by chance. I just happened to see it last night. He walked past me, and he was carrying the tracksuit in his hands.
No, that can't be it either.
Because it was in a
According to
duffel bag.
Celeste's testimony,
Trying to hide it.
when Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag. If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
It would appear you dug your own grave.
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said what you did. Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with? What a bunch of nonsense.
Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff.
Oh, shoot.
Your true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit. That's why you said you knew who did it. To put them on edge.
That's right. However,
Wow, Kyoko's super smart.
Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
But why? What made you so suspicious?
That's a good question.
The way he was acting.
There was a certain turning point that tipped me. Maybe you didn't notice it, Mondo, but you tend to refer to men and women differently. You only call guys dude. For girls, it's chick. And after he was killed, you happened to refer to him as dude. Once I picked up on that, it occurred to me that Mondo knew something we didn't.
You notice such a tiny detail? Are you a witch? She's a witch! You're positively frightful!
No. I'm
He
not
is-
the frightful one. Not nearly as frightful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
Mondo, was it really
Kyoko's
you?
like really smart, man.
Did you really kill Chihiro?
I didn't kill anyone! You've been all over me, judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth. What gives you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal?
Yeah, he would never do something like
Oh,
that.
no.
This is a false accusation.
It's true. My reasoning on that is pretty shaky.
That was fast.
Well, this does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of leads.
My time has nearly come.
Do you have actual
That's
evidence?
what my little ghost friend is telling me.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you found some evidence?
Really? What kind of evidence? Actually, you know...
Okay.
Jeez, does your confidence just get up and walk away?
Yeah, tell us. That's
Here it is.
the missing handbook.
What do you have there?
It happens to be an e-handbook. I found it laying on the ground, so I scooped it up.
Put it on the ground, right? Then it must belong to Chihiro.
I got it! We know Chihiro's handbook was missing from the scene of the crime, right?
For a fact.
For a fact indeed. I was totally sure I'd found it.
Then it must hold some clue about the culprit, right?
Well, that's what I was hoping. But it's busted. It won't even turn on.
I imagine the culprit
The
broke
thing
it
is, it
to get
can't
rid of
break.
any evidence after the murder.
That's odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so fragile.
You're right. They're not. They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one.
And yet, this one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless in the main hall for all your confidence. That is a remarkably high failure rate.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there somewhere?
They're not broken.
How precisely
Or
did the
they might be
handbooks
broken.
get broken?
How did the handbook break? There's only one possible. By hitting its weak point.
I got it! You already told us before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
Yeah! You remember that? Sure, maybe I let that slip, but I never told anyone what the weak point actually was.
But if the handbook is supposed to never break, and two of them
They
broke
found
in
out
quick
the
succession,
weak point.
Then we can only assume that someone's figured out its weakness. You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So, what is it?
You're asking me?
I think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not good.
Just tell us already. Why would we want to break our own handbooks?
Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demands. But
Yeah, we
you're
won't break
sure
it.
You won't follow their example? Then allow me to make a special announcement. The weak point of my cutting-edge e-handbook is... when it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will suffer a meltdown and totally break.
That's how Mondo figured it out, because he was in the sauna.
I flippin' knew it!
You knew it?
Yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna.
The temperature in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees. Strange how you don't get burnt, huh? It's because as your sweat evaporates, it creates a cooling layer of air around your skin. If the hot air of the sauna were somehow pushed directly onto your skin, you'd definitely get fried. That layer of air would get blown away. That's why you may feel a burning when you move around.
That's okay, so
when you're in
Mondo,
the
that's
sauna,
how he figured
make
it out.
sure to keep nice and still.
Interesting. I learned one new fact today.
That is a mere trifling speck of knowledge.
Anyway, if you found the victim's handbook in the sauna, then the killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to break it.
Meaning the culprit somehow knew its weakness.
But how'd they find out? Monokuma said he didn't tell anyone, right?
He brought the handbook in with him
Indeed.
when he
Quite
was
a
having that
mystery.
fight with...
What if they found out
Yeah,
by accident?
exactly,
What do
exactly.
you mean by accident?
What if the killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness, and it broke? They'd realize it was broken, of course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why. And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way to dispose of it.
I won't say it's not possible, but
Yeah,
who would've done
Mondo
something
did.
like that? I don't know of anyone who took their handbook into the sauna.
I might know someone who did.
Mondo did.
Seriously?
I think the one who may have taken their handbook into the sauna was...
Who might have brought their handbook into the sauna? Had to be the one who wore all their clothes into the sauna. It was Mondo.
Here's my answer. Mondo, your handbook got broken in the sauna, didn't it?
What? Why? Why do you keep accusing him?
Mondo and Taka had an endurance contest in the
Yup.
sauna not too long
I
ago.
can't
remember?
believe that that's relevant. But I guess they showed that to us for a reason.
And for the contest, Mondo just so happened to keep his school uniform on. But little did he realize, he'd also left his handbook in one of his uniform pockets. And when it was all over, Mondo discovered that taking your handbook into the sauna could easily destroy it.
No, wait, hold on. You've got it all wrong. He would never kill. I don't accept this. Show me the proof. The actual solid proof.
I don't want to believe it either, but I found something that proves it beyond a shadow of a doubt. Cute. Chihiro's
Let's test
handbook.
Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, then Mondo...
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is actually broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
See? Look! Makoto was wrong after all! Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly!
I'm sure Mondo's...
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
The one in the hallway.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is actually broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
Oh, dang it.
See? Look!
Makoto was wrong. Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly.
It's Leon's. You're holding Leon's.
Let's test Makoto's. If what he says, you broke your own. In other words, if then that proves.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
No, that's wrong. Mondo, the handbook you have right now.
It's Leon's.
Is it really yours?
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
The broken handbook that was in the main hall. Isn't that one actually yours?
What the heck are you talking about?
What I mean is, I think Mondo swapped his handbook out for one that actually works. I think he took Leon's handbook and replaced it with his own. After all, Monokuma said himself that Leon's handbook never should have broken.
That's right! The punishment it suffered wasn't nearly enough to destroy it.
So then, the broken handbook in the main hall is actually Mondo's, which would mean that the handbook Mondo has right now is actually Leon's. Yes?
But doesn't that violate the school regulation that says loaning out your handbook is...
Leon didn't loan it. He took it.
Here's how I look at it. There is a rule about loaning your handbook to another student, but if they're dead, they're not a student. It's kind of a gray area, I admit. But no worries. If anything, it just makes things more interesting.
Okay, it makes sense. It makes sense.
I decree that exchanging handbooks with a corpse is not a violation of the rules.
Well, Mondo, if I'm wrong about this, you're welcome to
Can we
say so.
see the handbook?
I'm happy to admit I made a mistake, but...
Son of a bitch. What's wrong, bro? Come on, you are wrong. You have to be wrong. Everything you just said is wrong. You made it all up.
Okay, then why don't we look back on this case one more time, from the beginning. That way, everything will become clear, and we'll all see if I was right or wrong.
Closing. Oh, shoot. Okay. This is also a time limit. Hold on. I don't know what happens here. Okay, so she sees that. Okay. Or he sees that and walks inside. Picks this up. Was one of the things, okay. Swapped out the... hold on. I don't know how they got a girl handbook. Oh, probably from the main hall, yeah. So that means this. No. That's out of order. I'm having trouble with this specifically. So you rolled up the carpet. Put this down. Brought to the girls. Put that. Then he came in to, like, make things worse. Is that it?
Here's exactly what happened. First, let's take a look back to before the incident. Last night, Celeste saw Chihiro in the warehouse, correct? At the time, she was apparently stuffing something into a duffel bag. That something was a blue tracksuit. You can confirm this, right, Celeste? With bag in hand, Chihiro headed out, even though it was officially nighttime. She made her way to the locker room, specifically the boys' locker room. But how could the victim, who was apparently a girl, access the boys' locker room?
Because Chihiro was a boy.
Because she was really a he, which is why he was able to use his own e-handbook to gain entrance to the boys' locker room. Once inside, he met with someone there. And the person he met was the one who killed him. It seems likely that the killer grabbed the nearby dumbbell, approached the unsuspecting Chihiro, and attacked him.
Okay, so far I got it right.
On the poster and carpeting in the boys' locker room came from. It was likely in the heat of the moment. The body was arranged, but the murder itself felt unplanned.
Okay, that was right.
Why the killer hurried to try and hide the act. First, pulling up the bloodstained carpet, then removing the bloody poster.
Okay, that was right. Cool.
And finally carrying the corpse into the girls' locker room. A girl's handbook was necessary to get into the locker room, of course, but this alone doesn't prove that the killer was necessarily a girl.
They could have swapped the main hall.
After all, Sayaka and
Yeah,
Junko's handbooks had been placed in the main hall. Using one of those, a boy could get into the girls' locker room without much problem. And that's exactly how the killer did it. With the carpet and the poster they brought with them, they got to work.
Swap the
They
scenes.
changed the layout of the boys' and girls' locker room in what you might call a crime scene switch. That could have been the end of things. But no, Byakuya discovered the body and decided
Yeah,
to
he made it unnecessarily
intervene in the
complicated.
situation, making things even more complicated. So, after stumbling on the crime scene, he went and grabbed the extension cord from the library. And then he got to work.
By imitating.
He used the cord to string up Chihiro's
Yeah.
lifeless body. Then, using the victim's own blood, he left a grisly message there at the scene.
That
of
was
the crime.
unnecessary.
He wanted to create the illusion that Genocide Jack was responsible for the slaughter.
That was unnecessary.
And around the same time that Byakuya was putting together this facade, the killer, having already disposed of Chihiro's bag and other belongings, arrived at the sauna. There, they planned to destroy the last piece of evidence, Chihiro's handbook. And just as the killer expected, the steamy sauna was enough to ruin the electronic gadget. Somehow, the killer knew that the handbook couldn't stand up to the heat of the sauna. And the reason they knew that is because the sauna had already wrecked their own handbook. And that's how it all played out.
Alright, I was able to get that perfect.
Mondo Errata.
Wait. No. This can't be right. Where's your evidence? You need evidence. You need proof. Without any proof, you can't pin any of this on him.
But he was so quick to accuse Byakuya. Evidence that Mondo is the killer. That already revealed itself earlier in the trial. I can somehow show where Mondo's handbook is right now. Once I do that, everything will become clear. Can we see your handbook, Mondo? Fever time and Nega time. During bullet time battle, you press the RB button. Fever time will activate and tempo will be forced to its max. Okay. Okay. Oh, we're fighting him. Okay.
Show me some evidence. You're wrong. I won't listen. I refute you. False. Show me some evidence. I won't listen. False. I refuse to vote. Show me some evidence. You're wrong. I won't listen. I refute you. False.
Okay, well,
Show me some evidence.
I almost got you.
Show me some evidence.
This should prove it.
It's cool how we're fighting him at the end instead of the actual
Thinking
culprit.
So far is right, Mondo must have replaced his broken handbook with Leon.
So we just need to see his
In
handbook.
which case, we can just check each of our handbooks right now. Once we do that, we'll...
We don't gotta do that.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I did it. I killed him.
Okay. So he owns up to it. Alright. Got a bunch of coins from that too.
Bro, what are you saying?
I got no choice, man. After hearing all that, I gotta just... give up. Go ahead, Monokuma. Get it over with. Ask for the goddamn verdict.
Roger that.
Wait, hold on!
No waiting, no holding on. Time for the moment we've all been waiting for. Grab your lever and give it a yank! Who will you elect as the Blackened this time around?
And
Will
they
you make
admitted
the
it
right
too.
choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Okay, let's see what the punishment is.
What?
This time it looks like you got it right again. Yes, it is so. The Blackened that killed Chihiro Fujisaki was Mondo Owada.
Unbelievable.
In case you were wondering, the vote was not unanimous. Kiyotaka chose the wrong answer. You're treading very close to the danger zone, Mr. Ishimaru. You need to be more careful. I refuse to believe it. There's no way. No way he would kill someone.
Sorry.
Why are you apologizing?
Now then.
It looks like Mondo's taken a vow of silence, so allow me to explain on his behalf.
Actually...
The story of the murder this time is the sad story of two men. For anyone who doesn't want to hear it, you can hit the B button to fast forward the text. Once a young boy, and his name was Chihiro Fujisaki. He had an extreme inferiority complex regarding his own lack of strength. You're so weak even though you're a boy. He'd heard things like that as long as he could remember. He couldn't overcome his weakness. On the contrary, he tried to hide and buried himself further and further into that weakness, to take on the petite form, or the fragile form of a petite young girl. He had chosen that as his way out. Now nobody will be able to say anything about even though you're a boy. But no matter how tightly he wrapped himself in that shell, the inferiority complex had already taken deep root inside of him, and was not so easily weeded out. As it turned out, the shell was completely empty. The complex didn't disappear. Instead, it only grew stronger and stronger.
Weak.
Once the killing game had begun here at the school, he had no choice but to accept this fact. After all, this world is survival of the fittest. If you're not strong, you don't survive. And then the lovely and hateful Monokuma announced the revealing of the embarrassing secrets, which of course included Chihiro's embarrassing secret, which I was more than willing to divulge. Even though he dresses like a girl, Chihiro is actually a boy.
Hey,
That was something Chihiro couldn't let anyone find out, no matter the cost. If it was revealed, it would end, or it would be the end. The hardened shell would crack, the armor would fall away. Without a doubt, those around him would torture him more than before. Everyone figured being thrust into such a dilemma must have sent him spiraling in despair. And yet...
I'm sorry.
I don't really want to talk about it right now.
But...
Maybe I can talk about it later. After I try my best to become strong, then I can tell everyone. Annoyingly, he used the threat of discovery to motivate himself to become stronger.
That's right.
Now's my
I
chance.
want
I'm going to get
change.
stronger and accept who I am. Strong enough so that when someone says, even though you're a boy, I'll be okay, I'll get better. With that thought at the front of his mind, he resolved to take immediate action. And so, that day he made the commitment to begin exercising, prepared to retrain his mind and body. But sadly, that would be the first and only chance he would get at it.
Hey,
When he decided to start exercising, he thought it would be good to ask for someone's help. But he wanted to tell that person his secret first, then ask them to help him from there. The person he went to was me. Yep, it sure was. The biker gang fella had been painfully clear about how important his manly promises were. So Chihiro probably figured that even if he confided in Mondo, his honor would make him keep the secret. Plus, Mr. Macho Mondo was the very symbol of a strong man that Chihiro always aspired to. Maybe talking to Mondo about it will help give me some courage. So he went and asked Mondo to help him become strong. That was his aspiration. He thought that only with Mondo's support would he ever be able to come close to that.
Correct.
So then that's why Mondo did what he did, to keep the promise he'd made to Chihiro. Did what he did. That's why Mondo carried Chihiro from the boys' locker room into the girls' locker room?
Indeed.
That's exactly what I mean. Wasn't that to cover up what he'd done?
Certainly.
That could have been part of it, but I don't think it was the main reason. The real purpose was to keep the promise between men he'd made to Chihiro.
But...
How does moving the body keep a secret?
Because...
If everyone knew he'd been killed in the boys' locker room, everyone would have been arguing about how she got into the boys' locker room, right? Once that started up, at least a few of us would have immediately begun to suspect his identity. So he tried to protect Chihiro's secret by putting him in the girls' locker room and stealing his handbook, see? Then Mondo did all that to keep the promise he'd made to Chihiro, who he'd also killed? Why would he do that? The more I hear you talk, the more I don't understand. I mean, you guys trusted each other, right? Why? Why did you... No matter what, I didn't want anyone to know.
I knew it.
So that's what triggered it after all. The possibility of having your embarrassing memories and secrets exposed.
What is
That's
this?
impossible. Nothing could have been that bad. Nothing he didn't want anyone to know, even if it meant killing someone. It's impossible.
Don't make me repeat myself.
How many times must I repeat myself? To judge others by your own standard is the height of folly. Even if you can't comprehend it, he obviously can. That's all there is to it. While we're on the subject, why don't I tell you? That embarrassing memory, that secret he didn't want anyone to know.
Hey,
You know what Mondo did? He killed his own brother. The ultimate biker gang leader makes all the hoodlums and riffraff across the country tremble. The only reason he had the chance to join a gang in the first place was because of a certain someone. Mondo's older brother's name was Daya Owada. Mondo had nothing but respect for him. It was because of Daya that Mondo ever got on a motorcycle. Mondo's brother was his only family growing up. He was the only one Mondo could trust or respect. He wanted to measure up to his big brother, so he imitated him in everything he did. Mondo was the epitome of a starry-eyed kid brother. Meanwhile, the charismatic older brother had put together a local motorcycle gang. Before anyone knew it, it had grown into the biggest biker gang in the country. Daya, the older brother, number one in the gang, and his number two, his younger brother Mondo. In the beginning, everything was peaches and gravy. But when Mondo started to think about how he would have to take over the gang from his brother someday, his brother's greatness, his reputation began to gnaw on Mondo's very soul. It's gonna take over for Daya, huh? Daya created this gang with his bare hands. Mondo's just along for the ride. Can someone like that really be our leader? All that'll do is make the gang look bad. Almost every day, Mondo heard the gossip and whispers of the other members of the gang, which is why
I
gotta get stronger than Daya. Just one time, no matter what, I gotta win.
Fuck with me.
I don't care what it takes, I gotta come out on top. And on the night of his amazing brother's retirement ceremony, Mondo challenged him to a street race. During the race, tragedy struck. The kid brother pushed ahead with reckless abandon, eager for victory, and dashed into oncoming traffic. But suddenly... Laying in his kid brother's arms, the older brother delivered his final words. My bad. I screwed up, sorry. Of course he knew it was his brother's fault, but Daya never blamed him for what happened. The rest is up to you. No matter what, you gotta keep the gang together. Because it's the team you and me put together. A promise between men. He decided to hide the truth of what happened from everyone else in the gang. In order to keep the gang together and keep the promise to his brother, he'd never admit to anyone that it was his own weakness that caused the accident. And as a result, the team was made even stronger under the banner of the kid who bested his big brother. Daya was gonna lose to his kid brother, so he got stupid and got himself killed. That became the explanation for what happened. Mondo's lie became the truth. He wanted to lead the team so bad he was willing to tell all kinds of lies about his brother.
I just...
As soon as our killing game began, he realized, no matter how tough he pretended to be, he was just another weakling that could die in an instant. And then the hateful Monokuma announced the revealing of the embarrassing secrets. At that point, it was clear I would have no problem shedding light on his secret. Mondo killed his own older brother. No matter what, I couldn't let the other gang members find out. If that happened, everything would have been ruined. Everything me and my brother had worked to create would have been destroyed. His death, all the guilt I'd been carrying around, it would have been for nothing. That's why. After I saw what Monokuma had on me, I filled up with a kind of fuzzy uneasiness and just started swirling around. I never felt anything like it before.
I
didn't know what to do about it. I wasn't sure what to think or say but after a while, that fuzzy uneasiness turned itself into a rock-hard lump of anxiety way down in my stomach. It was right about then that Chihiro asked me to start working out with him. And right there, he told me a secret. Seriously?
I'm sorry.
Why are you telling me this all of a sudden?
Huh?
You've kept that secret all this time, right? If anyone found out, you would...
But...
You're right.
I want to change.
I wrapped myself in lies. I'm weak. I want to destroy that version of me forever. His words were like a knife in my gut. I felt like he was exposing the lie I'd been living myself. I have to change. I don't want to be weak anymore. You're so strong, it can't hurt you, right? Whatever secret Monokuma might tell us.
You piece of...
You're saying I should just say it?
What?
You're saying if I really am, I should be able to tell everyone my secret?
Huh?
I was jealous. I was jealous of Chihiro's strength. He had the strength to face his own weakness to try and overcome it. It was the kind of strength I never had. I was jealous of him, and that jealousy broke me.
What?
No!
I'm not making fun of you. You really are strong. I feel like I could hear something starting to creak. Something inside my head. What did he want me to do? What was I supposed to do? Was I supposed to just sit back and let my secret get revealed and ruin everything?
What's wrong?
Why'd you have to tell me all that? What, are you trying to rub my failure in my face?
I just wanted to...
Just really admire you. I admire your strength.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. I am strong. I'm strong. Stronger than you.
You son of a bitch!
And stronger than Daya. I don't remember anything after that. When I woke up again, he was laying at my feet covered in blood. I had the dumbbell in my hand, and I was just staring at him down on the ground. I killed him.
I killed Chihiro. Even after all this time, I'm still just as weak as I've always been. And thanks to that, I did something I can never take back.
He was normally so aggressive, so angry. He hid that weak side away from everyone. That was his secret. A weakness like that lived in a heart like his. Turned him cold-blooded. You're all just like him. For a secret from the past, for a memory. For that, he killed another living human in cold blood. He couldn't cut free of his regrets from the outside world. He doesn't know what true strength is. Do you see hope anywhere in there? Because I sure don't.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I can't do that right now because the time for punishing is fast approaching. Punishing?
It can't be.
Execution? What I promised you, right? The blackened that disturbs the peace will be punished.
Ridiculous.
Hold on.
Now then,
I prepared. Okay.
a very special punishment.
Oh gosh, is it a truck?
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time.
Sorry, man. I couldn't keep the promise we made. From...
Okay. Wow, okay, he's wearing the... Cage of Death. I see. How is this gonna... Oh, it just keeps going faster and faster until the G's take him. What? Okay, he was churned. Okay. Well, that's dark. Laugh at death and your soul will forever be at peace. Another murder, another execution. Want to feel again. Everyone's lives are taken so lightly here. Feel like I might be going mad. Maybe I'll just let it happen. As Taka's sad screams invaded our skulls, we were each forced to realize once again. But he, of course, he had to. What a disappointment. This is the end of the game. Yakuya.
What is this?
You're completely insane, you know that? A game? One of our friends is dead, do you realize that?
Naturally.
Of course I do, because this game is life or death.
Hey.
I don't have anything to say to you. I don't have a response except that
However,
I just don't understand why. Why did you go out of your way to disguise Mondo's crime?
What?
Why? Because it made things more interesting. His voice was calm, emotionless, like the voice of death. It chilled me to the bone. Last night, when the murder took place, I was in the library as usual.
Honestly.
So you ignored the nighttime rule too. That rule never mattered to me. I don't recall agreeing to it.
There is nothing to be done.
I don't particularly care. Please continue. The night grew late and I decided to return to my room, which is when I stumbled upon him. I spotted Mondo coming out of the girls' locker room. After he'd gone, I looked inside and saw the corpse. You witnessed the murder? He was such a fool, he didn't have the slightest idea that I'd seen him.
Well...
You're saying you knew who the culprit was from the very beginning?
That's right.
Indeed, but if that had been the end of it, how boring would that have been? What a waste of time to have the answer revealed right at the beginning. Which is why I decided to lend a little helping hand. Thought it would liven things up. Did all that to liven things up?
I see.
After hearing about Genocide Jack from Toko, you decided to use that. To create the fake murder scene?
But...
If we hadn't figured out who had really done it, you would have been dead too, right? Obviously, I would have revealed the truth before it reached that point, of course. Yakuya turned and looked me in the eye. I could feel his sharp eyes piercing into me. Thanks to a certain remarkable someone, it never did. And I was able to perform an interesting experiment.
Interesting.
Once I do decide to become blackened, I now know who I'll have to watch out for. What?
Correct.
So that was your reason. Are you satisfied?
Indeed.
Yes, we're done listening to your story. Moving on.
Hey.
Something I'd like to ask Monokuma.
What's this?
Oh, I'm up next?
You...
You like to perform these elaborate executions each time, correct? My question is, why? This punishment, this despair, it's not just for you. My gift to mankind itself.
What?
You're over-exaggerating. I'm not over-exaggerating. These punishments are meant to transform all hope into despair.
Damn.
What do you mean? 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 Okay. Good grief, I don't understand why you have to pick apart every little stupid thing. Whatever, it doesn't matter. In the end, I'm going to stand alone as the victor, and then everything will be revealed to me. The noble son of a noble family. Truly, you understand me. I think this is the start of a terrifying friendship.
That's enough.
I would never stoop to the level of a childish criminal like you. Let me just say this, after I've achieved complete victory, you're up next. I'm going to find you and kill you, understand?
In the name of my family.
You're getting all riled up.
It's like you're the main character of a video game or something. No trash mob for you. Monokuma's laughter peeled across the courtroom, and the curtain closed in the case of Chihiro and Mondo. But I knew that wasn't the end. The killing game would still continue, because the mastermind wouldn't let it end. For those of us who were still alive, our worst fear and despair kept on multiplying. It was the kind of despair that felt like a blind puppy in hell had more of a future than us. All of our courage, our effort, our friendship, it felt like it amounted to nothing at all. It was the worst kind of despair.
Well, anyway, like I was saying, this is a pretty good spot. Yeah, a really good spot. Anyway, isn't it amazing how that girl went and killed someone before things even had a chance to get boring? Once things really get moving, it'll be like
This is a flashback.
coaster. There won't be any stopping it. Fear and despair.
Because they're talking about
charge
Sayaka.
forward at a speed nothing can hope to match. But I must admit, I'm disappointed. I went to all the pain and effort of making you part of the group.
Oh.
And you couldn't play your part. You do remember you were supposed to make the first move, right? Well, no biggie. Nothing we can do about it now. So just do your best to make things more exciting.
There's
from
someone
now
in
on,
this
okay?
group
After all, that's what everyone wants to see.
that's in cahoots with Monokuma. One thing I'd like to ask you.
As long as you don't want to know my measurements, fire away.
Who is it? The 16th high school student. I mean.
My. You really took me by surprise there. I know I said you could ask anything, but super denied, ultra denied, demonic denied. Because you see, that's my ace in the hole. And nobody'd be dumb enough to reveal that, right? No matter how close they were to their friends.
Chapter 2, Boy's Life of Despair. Ten left. Okay, that seems like a good place to end it. We're a little over 3 hours, but that's alright. Thank you for coming. See you next time. Turn off notifications, it gets annoying, especially if you use the app on mobile. See you tomorrow. Good afternoon, goodbye, thank you for watching.